Hey, Jen Edwards, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. I go by the Pajama Grandma. I'm actually a certified partner for ClickFunnels, and I haven't really looked at your site much to see if you've done it on ClickFunnels. Not sure that everybody in the Funnel Hacking Queens group is actually in ClickFunnels or not. Doesn't matter. I can still run through. I just want to say I'm giving you just my quick run through, my opinion. So if you don't like it, I don't mean to offend. I'm just going to go through and see what I notice, ask you some questions, and then share, my experience and my expertise with what works and what doesn't. I just briefly looked at it on my cell phone before I went to a grad party, and I just got back. So I wanted to run through and just give you some feedback and some thoughts. And I think you've gotten some really good feedback from other people on the post as well. But don't be frustrated. Don't give up. No matter what, none of this stuff works for any of us the first time. Even the infamous Russell Brunson's funnels don't necessarily work the first time, and they have to tweak and test and go back and change things based on the information that they're getting from the marketplace, whether they buy something or not. And so never give up just because the first crack at it and you feel like you're frustrated and you've been trying and beating your head against the wall. Trust me, we've all been there. I'm still there. I'm launching a new project for people with chronic pain, and I don't have it right yet. I don't have it dialed in. Now, I've been working on it for like 3 or 4 months, beating my head against the wall, but that's because I know I'm missing pieces and I know the pieces that are missing, and so I have to go back and keep working on them. And I have to keep putting it out there till I get the exact right message, because when you get the exact right message, everything clicks. But you can't beat yourself up or expect it to happen really, really fast, because you're only hearing the few stories of people that it really happens fast for, but you're not getting all of the background information in their story of how hard they've worked, how many times they've tried, how many different things they've done. I mean, we all gloss over our background stories and our origin stories, but if people knew your real history, they'd be flabbergasted at how much effort and how much work you actually put into some of this stuff. So that's my main message. Don't be frustrated. Just keep testing, keep asking for help, and you'll get exactly what you need to be successful with this. Because you've got a great start. I mean, incredible start. Obviously, really incredible knowledge. So let's just see if we can't tweak your message a little bit, and let me ask you a couple of questions to find out exactly where you're coming from and what it is that you're trying to do. Okay? I hope you're saying okay. The first thing I noticed right off the bat is the name 21-day rephase. Now, I don't know if I'm your target market or not, and that's another thing we'll get to, but my first question is, what the heck is a 21-day rephase? And it doesn't really tell me what it is that I'm looking at. The other thing is, I guess I'm wondering what you've got for pre-work leading up to people coming to and landing on this particular page. By that I mean, are you offering them any sort of an incentive or a bribe to sign up for your list? Is this people on a warm traffic list that you're sending to this website? Because if this is a warm or hot market, I can see why they would love this site, but I suspect you might be trying to get cold traffic to come to it. And I don't know if you've heard the analogy of trying to ask somebody to marry you the first time you meet them in the bar, but that's what this feels a little bit like. So I guess I want to know, what have you got leading up to this to warm up the traffic, so when they land on this page, they are predisposed to wanting to get your offer and wanting to read about it and learn more about it. So that would be my first question. My second question is, as I read through the copy, I might have to try to pop over to that page so I can scroll around on it. And I will hope that we're still recording. I really don't know. This is the first time I've done it straight through on not on Be Live. I usually use a platform called Be Live, but I wanted to test this out. So I might talk through your site for 20 minutes and then have to go do it again on Be Live. That has happened to me before. Technology, me, sometimes we don't mix. So as I'm going through, the first thing I noticed in the headline is you're offering them and promising them more than one thing. I don't know if you've got any experience or understanding, but this has been a huge area of improvement for me. I always want to promise the world. And the problem with that is it And in trying to appeal to everyone, I'm appealing to no one. So I'd be curious who exactly your ideal customer is and who you really, really love working with or who you want to work with the most. Because I know that in your copy, you say you help men and women. Way too broad. And they're sick of dieting, restricting food, counting calories or macros, ditch all the idea. So I think that we need a little bit more clarity on who your exact target ideal customer is. Because as I read through your copy and your headline and things, I should be able to tell exactly who your target market is by reading through your page. And I couldn't figure out who that is. I'm not sure exactly who you're going after. And if I were to guess, I would say it's a really big group of people and probably too big. And by, again, talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. But let's look at the headline. Okay, so again, I don't know what a rephase is. And if I don't have any warm-up information to that, I just click away because I'm confused. And a confused mind is always going to say no and click away because we're all so busy and so inundated with information. We're just going to say next. And we're going to go find the next thing that we think is going to solve our problem faster. That's if we find your page at all, because I'm not sure how you're bringing people to this page. So as I read the headline, how to bust through that weight loss plateau, heal your metabolism, and set your body free to get the results you want. Again, super broad, super non-specific. So it doesn't really speak to anyone. And by not speaking specifically to someone, people will not, they won't stop in their tracks and say, oh my God, that's me. I need to pay attention to this. And that's the purpose of your headline, is to get people that are so inundated with information to stop in their tracks and be curious enough to read into the first paragraph. So the purpose of your headline is just to get them to stay on the page and to move on through your copy. I like the video, but we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll play it in a minute and talk about that. I just want to see a couple of things. I like the testimonials. But even as I read the testimonials, I'm getting the impression that your market is really broad. Again, you've got a man and a couple of women, and it doesn't really say specifically the result that you want to get for them. And I think if you hone in on what is the number one key result that your ideal client wants, and you write all of the copy on this page to that ideal client with that specific result in mind, and then a few little ancillary things, you'll get much better results. There's actually so much here that it's overwhelming for people when they land on the page and they get confused. And again, if they're confused, they're going to click away. I love the colors. I love everything like that. But again, if I'm not your target market, it doesn't really matter. The bullet points, again, too, this is important, what they're going to get, but not just what they're going to get. What does it mean to them? If somebody gets 21 days simple to follow, clean menu plan to heal your body, yep, it's going to heal your body, but what's another benefit that they really want? Because we always want to write our bullet points benefit laden. So not just what they're going to get, but what the heck's the benefit of them getting it? Shopping list for each week to save you time, energy, and money, because you're only buying the stuff that you actually need. You're not buying any stuff that goes to waste. You're not buying whatever those benefits are. You want to really spell those out for people. And I'm going to tell you, and this is going to be really hard, but I learned it the hard way. People will not buy anything mindset, or if you tell them right up front that they need to change their mind or that they need to change their beliefs, they're going to click away, because nobody thinks or believes they need to change their mind or the beliefs. You have to come about it from a roundabout way. And when you're selling them something or trying to convince them and persuade them to buy something, you can never make them feel like there's anything wrong with them. I mean, they know they got a problem. You're going to try to help them solve the problem, but they have to think like that it's not their fault. You have to let them know that it's not their fault. I also think you're not charging anywhere near enough money. I just need to throw that out there. Yeah, just saying. And I understand if this is like your introductory product or your lead-in product, but then if it is, we really need to simplify this page because it's way too much for the price point that you're offering. That's just my opinion. And then you would never want to say enroll today for only $7 per day, total $147. You want to kind of make that a little bit sexier sounding and present that, and maybe it's enroll today for $7 per day, total $147. That doesn't motivate me to want to click that button at all. First of all, how is rephase unique? It isn't even a word. I like that. I would say let's jump back up to your intro video. The purpose of the page is obviously to get people to enroll in your program, right? So I would actually lead with you and your story and why they should be interested in you. You've got a great story. You're gorgeous. So lead with you. And I'm hoping you've got some kind of a lead magnet in front of this because this is awesome, but it can't be the first time people see you. This can't be the first thing people see. So if this is a funnel, which I don't know, it's like a sales page. It looks like a sales page to me, and I'm not looking to see if it's a ClickFunnels funnel because if it is, it's super easy because all you have to do is put one page in front of it in your funnel that is an opt-in page that you can give away a lead magnet on that introduces people to you. And then this all fits together and makes sense because you've warmed them up before they see this. But again, still too much stuff. You're giving them way too much information and way too much stuff. And let's see here. Let's watch the video a minute because I did watch part of this.
Hey guys, it's Jen Edwards here, and welcome to 21 Day Rephase. So I wanted to jump on here really quick and just really connect with you and share with you my heart around this.
Okay, first thing, I guess that's fine. I was going to say
21 Day Rephase because I'm super excited about it. I know it's going to create transformation in your life and anyone you share this with.
Okay, so what exact type transformation are they going to get? And this video should follow like a who, what, why, how script. And you should explain to them who you are, what you're offering, why it's important to them, and how they get it. That's it. Who, what, why, how. Who you are, what you've got to offer them, why it's important to them, what's the main benefit, what transformation are they going to get, and how they get it. That's it. All this other stuff should be on the inside as part of your beginning introduction and welcome to them. Although another strategy you can use is to share your story and why you've created this. If you've got a great story and why you've created this and why it's called Rephase, I think Rephase is going to be tough because people are like, well, what is that? I found the same thing as I started doing my chronic pain product. People are like, what the heck is painkillers? Why do I want a painkiller? You know, well, they've got chronic pain, so they want to solve their problem, but that's a different thing. But I find I picked a name that I really liked, but I've had a hard time getting other people to understand what it means and how it fits because mostly they want to kill their pain. They don't want to be thinking about their pain. They want to create the alternative or the opposite of pain. But again, I've learned that you can't sell people mindset. People don't want to buy mindset. We have to sell them what they want and then give them what they need in our delivery of our product. And we all know that almost any business or any transformation requires mindset and belief changes. It's just really hard to get people, actually they just won't buy it up front. People won't buy personal development from anyone until they know, like, and trust you. And so you have to build that relationship for know, like, and trust before you can ever get to offering anybody suggestions about their mindset. I love this video, but like I said, it's got to be who, what, why, how.
Working with people on weight loss for a long time, one of the things that I'm seeing is like they're not losing weight no matter what they do, and it's so freaking frustrating. And so anyway, I've designed this program because there's about 4 things that really play into our bodies internally that is causing us not to have the results that we want. And that's hormonal imbalance, thyroid issues, insulin resistance, and leaky gut. And so we have to...
Okay, Here, I would pick the one thing that people can do that would get them the absolute best results and the biggest transformation. And I would focus on that one thing and market around that, or create something around that, maybe as your lead magnet. Because to be honest, those 4 things are pretty general information that anybody can look up and study and find information on. So what you got to do is you've got to inject you into it and your personality. So my next question is, have you determined and worked on your attractive character? And again, I don't know where you're coming from in this group, so I don't know if you even know what the attractive character is. If you've read Russell's books, Expert Secrets, then you know what it is. So that's awesome. But if you don't, I want you to message me and ask me, because I'm actually teaching a course on it right now. And I just sent another lady in Europe the 3 videos I did on the attractive character, so she could really hone in on and figure out her attractive character, because she's kind of in the same boat you are right now, and a whole lot of people. She's done a ton of work. She's invested all her money. She's to the point where she's actually living on her sister's couch, and she's wondering if she has to go find a job. And that's part of why I wanted to quick review your site, because I'm working with her too. And I just don't want people to quit. There's no reason to quit. Just ask for help, because there's so many of us here that can help. And again, you might not like some of the things that we say, but we know what works and what doesn't work. And you can change and do what you want after you get a bunch of customers. Once you get a bunch of people following you and in your tribe and working with you, you'll ask them and you'll find out what they want. And they might tell you something absolutely different than what I'm telling you. And that's what you're going to give them. We always want to attract our tribe of people and then give them exactly what they want. It's a lot easier to identify a group of people that have a problem or a need and then give them what they want. And as they want different things, you'll ask them and then just start giving it to them. Just keep giving it to them. Than it is to go the other way around. I will admit, my whole first course, when I was going through the certification program, I was doing a stress busting program for women business owners, because I was a woman small business owner and I almost died of stress. And I thought, well, if I'm this stressed out, other business women must be stressed out too. Therefore, a stress product for women business owners would be awesome. So I spent about 8 months creating a course, creating a product, creating a webinar for stressed out women. But I didn't do all my homework. I didn't actually pick a really tight niche of women that I was going to go after and market to. So my message was watered and it had way too much stuff in it. And it was overwhelming people. And so I couldn't get any traction with it. Well, then I decided that chronic pain was more an area I really wanted to work on anyway. And I kind of just abandoned the whole thing. And I think I learned a lot by doing it wrong. And so now with chronic pain, I like to believe that I'm doing it right. But it meant going all the way back to the drawing board and saying, okay, who is my attractive character of part of this? Who am I? Who do I want to show up with? Who do I show up in the world as? And how can I incorporate that into exactly the kind of transformation that I want to help people get? Because bottom line, people don't care about how much we know until they know how much we care about them and that we really want to see them transform in terms of getting exactly what they want. But they only really need one type transformation. So I think it's weight loss. And I think all the things that you're offering are weight loss. But again, I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% sure, because do the testimonials even talk about weight loss, best shape of your life, health, vitality? Even the testimonials, though, are very broad in terms of what you helped them achieve. And that's awesome that you do that. But you want your testimonies on this page to match up with and be very specific to the number one transformational thing you're going to get for people. Because once you get the message that they can get that main thing, and it's based on the research and based on your ideal customer, what is the number one thing to them that they want? What is the number one thing that they need? Is it to get through the diet plateau? Because you're going to speak very differently to the person that wants to get through the diet plateau than you are to the person that wants to not restrict their food or count calories. I don't know. I hope this is helpful. I love your layout and everything. I love the colors. I love the layout. Again, the copy I think could be a little pithier, meaning a little more directed to your ideal client and the transformation that they want. And then the benefits to them of that transformation. Because we want to, if we get them with the big number one thing, then the other things fall into place. But we really have to attract them with what is their biggest thing, because otherwise we can't break through the noise and they can't even hear what we're saying. I would say if you have not funnel hacked or modeled or looked at Kaylin Poolin's stuff, that I would definitely go look at her stuff. And that might give you a really good example of what I'm talking about the attractive character. She's like the epitome of an attractive character. Not the character you want to be, because nobody wants to be just like her, but an attractive character. That you take you and model what she's doing. I am not one of her customers, but I do follow what she does because I think she does such a great job of being who she is in her attractive character role. And the way they've got their website and everything laid out too. I mean, they've made over $10 million in the last year or so. So I would say they're an awesome group in a similar market to model. And then again, remember to keep yourself in the blue ocean, you want to take and tailor everything toward you and what uniquely you bring to this market, to this niche, because you want to be thinking about your offer in terms of how could I form strategic partnerships with other people that are in a similar market. And if they wouldn't like what I'm doing, then I'm probably too close to what they're doing, or I guess they're probably thinking that you're direct competition and you're too close to what they're doing. So you want to find ways to tweak your offer so that it appeals to other people in a similar niche, not the same exact niche. The trick is to carve out your own unique spot in the universe, just like Kaylin's done. Weight loss is the biggest thing on the internet, besides porn, I guess. I don't know. But that's what I've heard. And that's because so many people want to lose weight and get healthy, but they don't know how because there's too much information out there. So how can you carve out your little piece of the weight loss niche, just like Kaylin's carved out hers? But they've done a ton of things too. And I think that probably you have the same skill set or better. I'm trying to find your story again. I saw briefly your story. I'm going to ask you, have you created your entire product already? I know I did that my first time through, and I ended up having to change the whole thing. So I like that it isn't starting until May. And then I would be curious if you're doing it with a group, or if are you doing it with a group, or have you already created the whole thing? Because what we need to do a lot of the times is we need to get people's input. Another thing you might want to think about is turning this into like a 21-day challenge, or doing maybe a 5-day challenge leading into this. I've had a lot of success with challenges, mainly because I love a challenge. But I think that people are attracted to challenges. So if you could take part of this out and create it as a free 5-day challenge or 3-day challenge and get people results in 3 to 5 days, if they felt better or saw differences in their health or whatever the main thing is you're promising them in 3 to 5 days, I think they would be much more likely to sign up for a 21-day thing. All right, let me see if this recorded. I'm going to pop over. And it says it's still live recording. So I don't know if that was helpful or not. I have to use a magnifying glass to see what I'm doing. Oh, here it is. And so I didn't really do much on that. Let me see what other notes I wrote down. I did write down some notes before I went to the party, waiting for my daughter to get ready. So what did I say? I said, okay, I wrote like 4 pages of notes while I was waiting for my daughter. Okay, let's see what I said. Do a video. Oh, I wrote myself a note to do a video review for you because I have vision challenges, eye challenges. I have chronic pain, which is why I'm helping people with chronic pain. But part of my issue is I can't see very well. So for me, it's a lot easier to do a video review than it would ever be to type all this up or to text all this in messages. Again, I said something about the name already. It's a good name if people understand it, but if they're confused, it's not going to work. They're not going to watch it. It's like, what the heck's a rephrase or a rephase? I mean, I get it from reading your site, but you got to get them to read the site, and they're not going to read it if there isn't a really big benefit laden headline. And I would recommend how to blank the number one thing they want without blank the number one thing they don't want. So how to bust through the weight loss plateau without what's the main thing that your target, your ideal client doesn't want to do. Having to spend hours in the gym, without having to count calories, whatever it is for you. I would probably do the how to without versus the how to 1, 2, 3, 4 things. And to get the results you want, super vague. And I get that you might want to be leaving it open-ended so it appeals to everybody. But if you appeal to everybody again, you appeal to nobody. I said the purpose of the page, and I guess the purpose of the page is to get them to buy the product, the 7-day, or the 21-day thing. And I'd be curious if the $7 a day versus the $149 or $147, I can't remember what it was. I'm curious where you got that. Did you see what else other people are charging and then decide to go with that? Because at that price point, I would make them pay all up front. And the other thing, there's no guarantee with this. And that's going to be hard. People want it to be risk-free to them if they're going to try something new. So somehow you want to build in a guarantee. And maybe I just missed it. Like I said, I don't have great eyes, so I could very well have just missed it. Why is it not letting me scroll? Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Never mind. Operator error. Let me see if you have a guarantee. You may very well have one, and I just missed it. Secure ordering, good. And if I'm gonna say the product is digital, so nothing will be mailed to you, I would do that in a much smaller font. It doesn't have to be great big like that. Get started now. And then that again too, one of the tricks is to make something really dynamic about them in the first person on your buttons. Get started with your 21-day rephase today. Only $7 per day, $147 for $21. Yeah. See, I would just charge $147. I would not say anything about $7 a day. And if I'm going to compare it to something, I'm not going to say right out $7 per day. I'm going to compare it to something that they would be doing already for $7 a day that makes it seem really, really cheap. So, I would say $147, just $147. I wouldn't describe it so much because it makes it less appealing than making them think, wow, it's only $147 for this whole program and all these great benefits I'm going to get. We seem to be over-explaining things lately. This is like the third person I've reviewed their site, and everybody's like putting all these details about how much stuff costs. But if we're going to put a detail about how much something costs, we want to make it seem like they're getting an amazing value for just a little bitty price. For the price of a coffee a day, for less than lunch every day, or something like that. And then as far as mindset goes, I will say that we have to work on our own mindset when we're selling and creating these pages as much as anybody else's. And remember to flip it around and always be looking at what we're presenting and what we're showing the world from our customer's standpoint. It's really hard to do, but our mindset sneaks through and comes out in the way we present things. And that's kind of where the price thing is to me. I mean, if you only think it's worth a small amount, but people won't even pay you that small amount, that thought process and that belief comes through in your writing and in all of your communication. And I don't know how the energy transfers through, but somehow it does come through. Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes, and I scribbled them down in my messy handwriting way as I was on my way out the door. So, yep, and more than one promise in the headline. You want to nail that to how to blank without blank. Again, how to what they want the most, the one thing they want the most, not the one thing and another thing, the one number one thing your ideal client wants, what they want more than anything. And phrased in a sexy way that makes them say, stop, oh my God, I really want that. How do I get it? And then without the thing they don't want the most, then they really double take stop and really want to know what to do. So again, what's most important to your target audience? Ideal client, who is she? I was assuming it was a she, but maybe not. Maybe it's guys. Who's your ideal client? Is it a woman? Is it a man? How old are they? It's really important that you pick a specific perfect person that you're talking to and selling to as you're writing your copy, including your headline, because then you really think in detail to exactly what would this person want. Get a little too vague on the promises. Cute pictures of you. Oh, here's another thing that's killer. Before and after pictures. And I don't remember in your testimonies if anybody's got a before or after picture. People love the cute pictures of you, but guess what? They look at them and they're like, oh my God, I will never be as gorgeous as her. Click away. Because all they see is your beautiful picture. So your testimonies, or if you have a before and after, I know it's really hard to get vulnerable with that. And I don't think it says ever that you had a weight problem or anything, but none of your pictures are like before or after that make me think that, you know, I can do it too. Oh, here, he's got a before and after. That's pretty good, actually. So more testimony before and after type things are really, really powerful. And if you have a before and after picture of you and you lead with that up in the beginning of your story, that a before and after picture here would be much more powerful than you eating an apple. And then you're gorgeous in your video too. And it's hard for the rest of us, we real people, to relate to you because you are so pretty. It makes it hard for the rest of us. And again, depends on who your target audience is and who you're really trying to attract. It'll depend what those pictures would look like. And maybe it isn't a before and after type thing, but it looks like it's a weight loss thing to me, a 21-day really figure it out. So you before and after pictures work. Look at Kaylin Poulin, Lady Boss's stuff. They have thousands of testimonies and they're almost all before and after pictures. And they're almost all submitted by the users themselves. They use that proof over and over again. Super example to model. Like I said, I'm not even in that space and I model what they're doing. I'm modeling what they're doing with my chronic pain stuff in certain areas. Another question would be, with respect to your attractive character, do you have a Facebook page? And I haven't looked or anything, so I'm sorry that I haven't done research on it, but have you got a Facebook page and have you got a Facebook group? Because one thing, if you don't, you sure should have, because by turning this into a 21-day challenge and having a group where the people that are participating in it can interact with you, that makes it really easy to really up your price on this, because you're in there interacting with the group. And I think maybe I'm thinking of someone else, but you didn't say you did a weekly call with people one-on-one in this, did you? Because then I'm really going to go crazy about the price. Let me see this. I might be somebody else's I'm thinking of. Again, you want to use the words and the terms that they would exactly use. And I do like the kind of format that, you know, if all this did, it reminds me of a webinar, but in a sales page. But again, if you're doing if all this did, you want like the big three, not 7 is, you know, I've got 5 in my webinar, but that's in my webinar where I'm talking to them and I'm energized and I'm looking at them. Sometimes what we try to do is we try to put in 7 bullets instead of 3 really awesome bullets. And if you would just rewrite these and make sure they match the message that you're doing on the page, I think you'll find that they're a lot more effective than trying to catch everybody by listing them all out. Yeah, you don't look over 40. I'm just saying. And then I guess I would ask, do you have a webinar? Because if you've got this is great content for a webinar and or a Facebook Live. Again, if you I hate to keep saying Lady Boss, she's gonna think I'm advertising for her, but she does an awesome Facebook Live, like a webinar format, but the short version, and you would be awesome at that. She just has her husband films her and she just gets on Facebook Live and throws cards and papers around and stuff, and people love that because that's her target audience. It would depend on who your target audience is, but that would be something to consider as well, because you've got all the pieces here. It's just you're expecting people to read all this then, and they're not going to. You're going to lose them on the headline. So if you don't get them on the headline, let me check something else out. So you got to get them on the headline. You have to grab them with a picture, and you got to warm them up before they come here. But mostly it's got to speak specifically to one ideal client with one main promise. Because I think some of what I was reading, I just skimmed this, and you want to really also identify, how are you different? What's in it for your ideal customer and your ideal client to work with you? Why should I work with Jen Edwards? Why should I pick you over Lady Boss? Why should I pick you over any other coach? Why should I do this rephase program versus anyone else's 21-day challenge or 21-day weight loss program or 21-day system? And then again, I saw, what's your story? And a lot of times, depending on what everything is, like I said, I got the intuition that said, yeah, she should lead with her story, but that I like to lead with my story, or put my story on the thank you page of my lead magnet. So again, I think you need to warm up these customers. You can't just say, will you marry me on the first contact with you? So if you're driving traffic to this page, I would see why you're not getting any conversions, because it's going to be cold traffic unless you've got a list, and maybe you have a huge list and I'm all wet, but I don't think so. If you had a huge list, you wouldn't be needing help, right? That's what I say. If I had a huge list, I wouldn't be needing help. So again, what makes Jen Edwards special and awesome and makes people work with you and want to work with you? Why do your clients that pick you? And then who do you love working with? Who is your favorite client? Who is the best person that you've ever worked with, that you had the most fun working with? And if you had 100 of her or him, you would be ecstatic. Again, what are you passionate about? What are your strengths? What do you love to do more than anything else? Yeah, I guess I wrote down here, same old promises. A lot of the promises and a lot of the bullet points are written in a way that sounds like a lot of other people's. So you want to make those uniquely yours or specific. By adding specificity to things like bullet points, it really makes them more powerful than just the same. And I'm guilty of this, so it's hard to give feedback on it. But I always think everybody wants to live their best life. Well, what the heck does the best life mean? It's not very powerful. Or I always want people to kill their chronic pain and take back their life. What does take back your life mean? Or the big thing in my niche is everybody just says they want to lead a normal life. Well, that's not very compelling, right? And maybe that's just me that doesn't think it's compelling, but for most people, living a normal life sucks. So do you really just want to live a normal life, or do you have an awesome life? Well, so I'm personally going through that as I'm going through Expert Secrets with a group. I'm personally working on that. How do I get those things in those bullet points so that they don't sound like everybody else's stuff, and so that they don't sound like empty promises? Because what happens online is people are promised the world, and they're disappointed because so many people are over promising and under delivering instead of under promising and over delivering. One of my pet peeves from corporate America. And again, the biggest thing is, what is the transformation that you are going to get for them? What is the biggest, boldest promise and transformation you can give for them? So I'm going to go back to the page. I have no idea how long I've been talking, but probably too long. And you're probably like, what the hell is she talking about? If you have any questions, just give me a shout. Direct message me. Oh my God, 40 minutes. I'm really sorry. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, give me a, direct message me back, and I would be glad to help. If you think I'm crazy, let me know that too, because I don't want to ever, hurt anybody's feelings, because I know that you've put so much time and so much of you and so much work and effort into this. I know how hard it is, believe me. And I just want to help. I want to make sure that you get what you need just out of the gate with this. Like I said, it's pretty easy to add a lead magnet on the front of this. If it's a funnel, super easy to do. And if you need to, I can help you with that. But I think mostly we got to narrow in on who is your target market, who are you as the attractive character, and how do you make your target market transform? How do you get them exactly what they need and exactly what they want? And if it is the 21-day rephase, how do you make that exciting and present that to them as a new vehicle, a new opportunity, so that they can get excited about? And how do you build your tribe and your following and your group or your culture around that? I mean, do you have a rephase Facebook page? Do you have a rephase group? That whole kind of thing. So let me know. I am excited to see how you do with this, and I will hope to talk to you soon. Have an awesome day. Bye.